Welcome to Coaching in Session, where limits end and growth begins.
Hosted by Michael Rearden.
This is your space to challenge the ordinary,
Unlock your potential,
and step boldly into your next chapter.
Your mindset journey continues.
I talk about this on the podcast every now and again, where we talk about the imagination. We talk about this idea of a dream. We can be thinking about our dreams, or we could be thinking of other people's dreams. We could think of people who have had dreams and envisions for themselves that we have seen them come into reality and they were fruitful. And then possibly we can see dreams that maybe never came to fruition or came into life. Maybe you are at a difficult point in your life. Oftentimes we are shooken awake when life wants us to pay attention. A loss of a loved one or a thing, realization that time is fleeting. We might have more years behind us than we do in front of us. Watching an old video from when you were younger. All of these things can really help you understand, what is your dream? The dreams that I had when I was 16 and the mindset that I had when I was 16 is very different today. We look 2 decades later, and my dreams are so much more vivid, so much more fruitful than what they were before. I remember when I was 18, 19, or maybe in my 20s, one of the things I wanted to live in the wealthy area of Connecticut, like the wealthy, rich neighborhoods of Connecticut. It was a very selfish idea of what I wanted. I wanted to live in this home as like a bachelor pad, and it was not a good home for a family by any means. But I just wanted to live in this house in seclusion. And I was just thinking about myself. As much as I wanted that reality at the time, I prayed for it. I dreamed it. I created visions for it. But if I got that dream, my life wouldn't have been any better. Maybe would it have been even worse? So I have to ask yourself, how do we know if our dreams are good? Like our dreams are truly good, because our dreams can be selfish. Oh yes, I still have many selfish dreams, but I'm starting to allow myself to not allow those dreams to only be about me. Martin Luther King probably did it the best. And he had a dream for not just certain cultures of people, but a whole country, a whole world where everything would change, not just his world. What if we started to think more in a wider presence or in a stronger mindset of our dreams? How can they affect other people? Now, I'm not talking about, all right, you get a bunch of money, and now you're going to start blessing people, right? You're going to start, here's some money for you. You did a great job being in my life. I like you still. Here's some money, right? So I'm doing my job, right? I'm doing my work, right? I'm giving, right? I'm being more gracious, right? My dream is maybe to be more giving, right? Now, there is a study and there is a theology of people who give. Now, what happens when you get more money is you keep on doing the same things that you have been doing, just to a larger extent. So if you would spend money on clothes, guess what you would do when you get a lot of money? You spend more money on clothes. The same thing is true if you buy cars or you buy houses. You would spend more money on those things. If you are a gracious giver, you would give more. We know that just getting more money is going to allow you to do more of the things that you currently do. So if you have a dream of living a luxurious life and you're not right now, the reality is you're going to lose that dream at one point in your life. Most people who fall upon money without building themselves up to it, they lose it. They're not financially literate. They don't understand. The mindset is not there, right? All of these different factors say something about the mind. That your dream, even though it's important to you, is not becoming reality because there's a certain reason for it not to be alive. Perhaps that reason is it will make you a more bitter person, a more sour person. Maybe it will stop you from pushing, from learning, from experiencing. Think of it. If you have an abundance of money, right? Most people say that if I had more money, I can do more of the things that I like and I'll have less problems. And I can agree. For example, if maybe you were always working and never had time to spend with your family, maybe now you can hire a nanny, you can hire a tutor, and you can not go to work. You can live off your dividends or whatever, and you can be good. But the reality is, are you going to spend any more time with your family just because you have more time? Or are you going to allocate that time for something else you wanted to do? Maybe you wanted to go on more vacations. Maybe you wanted to start more business ventures or something along these lines. All of these things require time. So the dream to live more easily was just a facade. You wanted a more or a different lifestyle. It could be more challenging. Sure, it could be more fruitful, but most people are living the dream of someone else's. Think of someone who's living in a country with no running water. They have no shoes, their clothes are rags, and yet we have clothes that we throw on the floor that we don't like. We don't fit anymore because we eat too much. We waste water, we waste food, we waste everything. We're extremely wasteful. We can say that this is your right to do this because you have earned it. But the reality is, did you truly earn it? Can you say that is yours? Can you give away everything that you have and build it back within a year? Most people, they can't. Most people have a very hard time getting a leg up. Have you ever, for example, talk to a homeless person on the street? They say, if I just had a little bit of help, I might be able to change my situation. Maybe they just need a license to start working again. Or maybe they just need someone to believe in them, right? This aspect of belief in their dream, of getting off the streets and being better. And I know there's people who do that. But then again, it's such a small minority. Most people don't realize that their dreams are going to only be for their circle. Now, of course, you can say that it's going to trickle down from your circle and everyone's going to be getting some of that goodness. But the reality is it's going to stop at some point. So the life that I'm living is my problem. The life that you're living is your problem. Do you see the problem in the way of life right now? Do you see the problem if I say my dream is my dream and your dream is your dream? What if I said your problems are my problems and your dreams are my dreams? What would that change in the situation? You would find people who maybe are just looking for a paycheck, right? We think of people who are working in corporations, right? They have a 9-to-5, they get a salary or they get a weekly check, they get paid hourly. When they do these things, they get a check to bring home to provide for their basic necessities, maybe even to build toward their dream. But the reality is, if you're working for a corporation today or a company and you're not working for yourself, you are working towards someone else's dream. There was a saying or something like a quote or a short story or a reel, I forget. But there was a boss, a CEO that rolled into work one day. He had a nice new car. Say it's a Ferrari. It could be a Lamborghini. It doesn't matter the car. One of the workers say, "Hey, boss, nice car." And the boss just replies to the guy, "And if you keep on working hard, I'll be able to buy another one of these next year." Do you understand the whole meaning behind that? He basically said that I know you have a dream of this car, but you keep on working hard and I'm going to get another one of your dream cars and put it in my garage that I don't need. So what's happening with the system? Are dreams broken, or the way people are thinking are broken or is broken? The mindset of dreams needs to be re-envisioned, needs to be realigned. Very similar to how education needs a reform. What if our dreams need some reformation? Where we say, we're going to change how we dream. We're going to change how we think. Because most people, they look at their situation, they see all of the problems in their situation, and they look at how they can blame someone else for the problems in their situation. So their excuse is that the reason this is happening is because of this person. Think of anyone, right? It's not so much of political sides, because it can also be Democrats, it could be Republicans. It's not so much of political sides. It's just people in nature, where you might have seen some people saying that the rich should pay more in taxes because they make more, right? So if you made more, would you want to pay more in taxes, or would you say, hey, I'm going to take advantage of these tax breaks as well? The reality is you would probably at some point keep more money in your pocket. Now, I'm not saying that you're one of these Mother Teresas out there that you're like, well, I don't want to keep any money in my pocket. I want to give it all away. There's going to be a few people, but that's going to be the extreme minority. Most people are not going to do that. Most people, they want to keep their money. Now, I have had the luxury to work with some of the wealthiest families in America. What I will say is that it doesn't matter about political background, doesn't matter about color or culture. It matters about what they want for themselves long term. They are frugal. Like, they're always worried that they're getting a bad deal. I mean, sure, you look at something and it costs so much, you're like, whoa, that costs a lot of money. But then again, what are you getting for that cost? Think of it this way. I remember I was talking to my brother about this. When we were growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. We went to grocery stores where the prices were right. And literally the store was called Price Right. And we would get this chicken, this low quality chicken. We would get low quality ingredients. And even though we got this low quality food, we were satiated and we were able to survive, right? And live and be full. Fast forward to today. Now we have all of these big grocery stores. We have these Whole Foods and these natural grocers. And yeah, sure, right? We want to get away from the processed foods and start to get more into the natural and the organic to an extent, right? Because sometimes the organic is just labeled that way to get a couple extra dollars. Sure. And I know some people, they have their qualms about organic and not. And it's so funny because my son, he likes strawberries and he will eat strawberries every day if you allow him to. And I remember one time we went to the grocery store and they didn't have any more regular strawberries. So there's only organic. So I had to spend an extra like $5 on these organic strawberries. And they were very good. If we compared them to the strawberries of the past, we can say that the strawberries were better. Now, I think of it this way. Maybe they just take the best tasting strawberries and say that these are organic. So people say, well, I want to get this. Or we can look at the soil composition of what makes something organic versus processed or with all these GMOs in it. And we can start to dissect what's going on. Very similar to how I said the price is right. The difference between the organic and the GMO stuff, or the stuff that has pesticides on it, whatever, right? We can go down the list of all of these things, right? Now, let's go back to the dream aspect to it, because this is going to tie everything together. When I was at Prices Right, and when I was buying these strawberries, maybe I wanted to say, you know what? I wish I could just buy all organic. I wish I could just have the healthiest foods. I wish I can just hire private chefs that would handle all my meal preps and things like this. And the reality is, all of this is already at your fingertips. There's meal prep systems that you can reach out to. They have natural foods and they have foods that are easy to prep or maybe even already prepped for you. So there are options already for you to live that dream. But most people don't see their options to live that dream because it's not exactly how they saw it. They wanted to do it their way and not just a roundabout way to get it. Think of driving their famous car or like their dream car, where maybe their dream car is a Ferrari and you can rent a Ferrari for a couple $100 and you can go race it for 20 minutes or an hour, whatever it is. So you can go experience your dream car and you can say, oh, I want this dream car. But let's say, and let's be negative Nancy's for a moment, because I think this is going to really drive us to understand what a dream should be rather than what we make a dream to be, is let's say that we finally get our dream car and we're so happy about it. We love the speed because those cars go fast and we are racing and all of a sudden we crash. Did that dream become a nightmare, or was our dream just a selfish idea of what we wanted for ourselves? I'm not sure. But what I can say, if I had to look at the mindset behind a dream and what it is and what it can be, is that I don't think we fully comprehend what a dream should be. Very similar to how people don't necessarily critically think today. I don't think a dream should be just simply a vision of a better future for you. I think it should be something more global. If your dream does not impact globally, then your dream is not big enough. When they say that your dream should scare you, I believe that is true. Because it's not so much about the little things that we know we can accomplish and that we do accomplish that make our life better. We know we can go to work for 10 years and eventually get a promotion and make a little bit more money. We know we can talk to enough people in our day or our life and we can get a relationship out of them, a boy or girl, whatever. We know that we can go to the gym and eat healthy for a period of time and get the body that we want. We know that this is possible. But sometimes it's not so much about the journey that scares us. It's just that we are more inclined to the instant gratification, the quick fix. So we look at the things that are going to help us expedite life, expedite our dreams. So if someone's in our way or something's in our way, we're going to say that they are the reason for our dreams. And if we can get a handout for something to happen in our favor, why not? Why not? Because we think of what we truly want in life, and then we progress through life for a certain period of time. And if you give yourself enough time from what you wanted at some point into what you want today, you might have forgot about what you got. Very similar to a kid who has a long list of toys for Christmas. Eventually, they forget about them. My son is so funny. He has so many toys. He has too many toys. He has a lot of toys. He has several bins of toys. Some toys he probably forgot he even has. And it's not until he starts digging the toys out, making a mess of everything. And then he's like, whoa, look at this, right? A brand new toy. But the reality is, it's just new to his experience. Before, he was just living at the surface level, the things that were on top. My son, my children, they both go to Montessori school. In Montessori school, they do a good job at helping people understand what's right there in front of them. All of the toys and all of the games are on shelves. They're not stacked on each other. Every one of the things has its own place. So one place will be in this cupboard, and then another one will be in this cupboard, and it's all spaced out evenly, or to a certain extent. Well, the issue for people, especially going in for the first time, there's not enough toys in this classroom for my kid. And sure enough, you might think that way. But let me tell you what happens to the mind when it takes what it has and it makes use of what it has. My son, even though I can give him his iPad, I can give him all of the distractions, he will go out and use his imagination and create something. For example, the other day he was in an Amazon box. Now, I'm not saying that we haven't done that when we're kids. I was in my toy box. I'll empty my whole toy box and I will ride the toy box down the stairs. Very dangerous. It was one of the things we did. I didn't care about the toys. I cared about what was holding the toys, the toy box, right? That was my fun, right? I would take boxes and I would slide down the stairs with them. Same thing. We use what we had. And most people, they don't use what they have right now because they have a lot of junk, a lot of stuff. I think of when I have to move. It's so funny because you don't know how much junk you have until you have to move. I remember when I first moved into the house, there was so much room available. I go, whoa, there's space here. This is nice. And before you know it, you're like, I need a bigger house. Not, oh, I need to declutter. I need to get rid of some of the things. And of course, maybe you're a hoarder and you're like, but what if I need this for one situation? My junk drawer can't hold any more junk. And you're waiting for your kids to turn a certain age, for example. I have musical instruments, I have recorders and things like that. My son, he's not going to play recorder until maybe second grade or third grade or something along those lines. So it's like I have a recorder for him already. And he's years away from that, like 4 or 5 years. So I'm holding on to things that cost me just $2 or $3 to replace, essentially. But what happens when you hold on to things like that? There's a cost to it. We don't necessarily think about the cost. We think about what we're going to save, right? Oh, I'm going to give this to them later on, right? When they're ready. When are they ready? When are you ready? How do you know that you're ready for your dreams? If your dream showed up and knocked on the door right now, are you ready for it? Of course, you might want it, but are you ready for it? There's a different mindset there. Most people they're not ready for the dreams. They're not ready for what comes with it. Think of it as your dream is going to involve getting rid of all the people in your life that are anchors, that are just weights in your life. And it might be your best friends. It might be your family. Are you ready to relinquish them? And most people say, yeah, I'm ready to, let them go. I'm ready to let them drown or whatever and live life their own way. But as I said, comfort is hard to change. What you knew or known is going to be hard to change. So the dreams that we have to want to change for those dreams to also occur. We have to make space. Think of it this way. Can you write a book and after you have written your book, delete everything or burn the book and start all over? Writing a book is a lot of work. Doing things like that is a lot of work, an essay or whatever. But if you can't do it, then that says something about your dream. It's not important enough. Of course, there's going to be times when you want to quit. I can't tell you how many times I passed, probably a couple months. It was just like quit was in my vocabulary, and it shouldn't be in my vocabulary. But again, the world has said my dream was to be forsaken or something. It was like your dream is not important. And the world was giving me everything else, right? It was giving me things to react to, right? And not to experience. Well, I said to myself, if I know that I'm going down this path of not being fully satiated and satisfied with what life has given me, how can I encourage life to be more in my favor? So I started to dream differently. And as I said, I'm going to tell you how the dream should be. So the dream started to evolve of what I needed to do, what I wanted to do, from the results that I would get from the things that I was doing, to now just simply looking at what impact is going to be there. Because like I said, my dream house or my dream car eventually is just going to be dust. It's just going to be garbage for someone else. Like the things that I'm holding on to, all these little knickknacks and papers and books that I have read that I enjoy, someone down the road might not enjoy that book or care for my knickknacks or read any of my notes. This is not to say that what I'm doing today is insignificant, but what I'm saying is that the significance is not in what I do, but what I'm going to leave behind. And I'm not talking about the materialistic things. I'm talking about the idea of changing the way a dream is situated, or changing the way a life or a mindset is situated. Anyone can think in a certain way. Anyone can move in a certain rhythm or a certain pattern. But for a person or an individual to truly say, my dream is going to change life, my dream is going to change the world, most people can't say that. Most people can say that my dream is going to change my world, it's going to change my environment, it's going to change the things around me. But what about the world? I think if most people started to think about the world, and I'm not just talking about let's, go green and let's get solar panels and let's do windmills that kill all the birds. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about we're thinking more in the realm of what a dream is capable of. Very similar to what Martin Luther King said, right? I have a dream where people can live together in peace and harmony. Where today, can we even say that people are living in peace and harmony? Can we say that his dream came to reality? In some regards, yes, right? With laws and some of the rights and things like that, and some of the things that were taken away from it. But most people's dreams are, like I said, extremely selfish. So if we would get away from my dream and start to look at someone else's dream, maybe we can get something from that today as a lesson, I guess, to help you truly understand this idea of to dream. The dream that I want you to have is I want you to write down all your dreams, of course, remember them. But I want you to have a dream of someone else, for someone else. And it could be your spouse, partner, it could be a friend, a colleague, or whatever, right? But you have to understand this too. If your partner leaves you, do you still want their dream to come true, right? If your boss fires you, do you still want the company's dream to come true? Maybe, right? Maybe you have no resentment. But the reality is you want dreams to happen to the people that you care about. And is that the right mindset? Neither here or there. But I think when you have some negativity in your mind, whether it be directed at someone or just be, present in your idea or logic, it truly will stop your dream from taking flight. Like to truly care about everyone. I mean, it takes a selfless person for that. And I remember my great grandmother, we have the video, we watched it a couple months ago, and her birthday wish was for everyone to be good. What is be good? Right? We can say be good, be safe, right? I'm not talking about evil and bad, but to be in a good place, right? That was her wish. It wasn't for a bigger house or more clothes or more money or better health. Just wanted everyone to be good, right? And then she loved cake, and she said to have some cake, right? So we gave everyone cake that we could that day, for her wish. And in her life, she truly made it to be good for the people that she interacted with. Yeah, sure. I'm sure at some point in her life, selfishness might have been there. Her problems might have been forefront. But like I said, when time starts to run out, you start to think about the dreams of others, because maybe you realize that the dream that you want to attain is already gone, or is too far gone for you to reach it. So today is an opportunity for you to dare to dream in different ways than you have ever dreamed before, to take away the selfish idea of what you want and to figure out what the world desires, what the world needs, and then to figure out, can you help the world with that dream? I believe what's going to happen is that there's going to be some scratch in the back where you help the world with its dream and the world helps you with your dream. Sometimes the dreams can align. Sometimes in our world today, especially, the dreams don't align. My money is my money, right? Your money is your money, or your money is my money. It's not our money is our money, right? We're working together for a common goal where everyone is good. And there's communities in the world that do it good. There are people in the world that do it good, but there's just not enough of it. So I encourage everyone to look at your dreams and ask, are your dreams selfish, or are they going to make the world a better place? And if they are going to make the world a better place, ask yourself this serious question. What are you doing every single day to make sure that happens before you die? What are you doing right now to push that dream forward, rather than just keeping it as a grandiose idea of what is for the world? Everyone can dream, and I dare you to dream. But can you dream with the whole world in mind?